and gentlemen, and everyone else. A few statistical facts. We have 55 nations are represented here with 370 registrants, and we have reached as far afield as Federated State of Micronesia. I had to look up on the atlas actually to find out where it were, on a Google map actually to where it were. I apologize to, I have no offense to anyone in this, but the point is, I was pleased to learn that we've gone as far afield as Micronesia. There are a total of 43 presentations. Of these 43, 17 are keynote speakers, and we're different at this NoRCEL. It will become apparent just later in the day. 3 of the 17 keynote speakers, 3 are PhD students who will be presenting as a keynote speakers. And just bear with me. There will be 2 €100 prizes plus some certificates awarded for the best oral presentation by 2 students. The funds were provided by MDPI's Journal Life. That's green bit is their logo. There will be 3 sessions as well as a public lecture today. I will chair the first 2. Martin will chair the third, and Elias will chair the public lecture. Oh my God, I wrote this, I'm just repeating here. Of course, a meeting is going to be, a physical meeting is going to be in summer 2022. Okay, useful information. During the presentation, your mics will be switched off. Also during Q&A session, if you have to ask a question, please raise a hand from the reaction button or send a question via chat box to the chair. We can send our attendance certificate if anyone wants it. A form for your completion is also in the chat box. Now, so it's something really, really serious. So we are here to serve you and make science accessible for everyone. Please note that I put emphasis on everyone. It'll become clear now. I believe in science in society, and so this S in S means science in society. Yeah, and of course, being promoter of science in society, I formed another group called Frontiers of Sciences. That's been going for about 6-7 years, you know, and both homegrown talent of scientists and international scientists. I've invited them to give talks, physically being present in the city of Leeds, in the county of Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom. For members of the public, I mean, they're made available for the members of the public as well as students, postdocs, scientists alike in the UK and globally, of course, including Africa and India. I have been really, really active in Africa, several countries, and 2 of the people on our international committee are from African country. I'll say something in the next slide. And India, of course, and my friend, Associate Professor Vinod Gupta, he has introduced to me a dozen university and educational establishment where we discuss science for the past 20 years. I gave bursary to students and postdocs, like, for example, at ISOL meeting, IANA meeting, and ASB stand for Astrobiology Society of Britain. At their students are given bursary, as well as, of course, from students and postdocs from NoRCEL, and have also provided MSc funding for the needy students, gave away telescopes. I mean, they're not like kind of Mickey Mouse telescope, scopes. They're serious observational instruments that are given away, and which means that I set it up astronomy clubs in Africa, and also in Africa I given away FDIR, much needed FDIR spectrometer. I have given my services free to over 50 institutes worldwide. And I got to mention that some of the prominent people have been have visited this this meeting, held by NoRCEL. That people like Peter Gogarten and Ram, his name is long and complicated, I can't pronounce. I'm sorry, Ram, wherever you are. He's from the SLIP Institute. And of course, people like Adi Prost from Israel, you know, and there are others as well, like Jim Cleese, you know. So basically, I'd like to single out one particular person, delectable Dave Deemer. Dave Deemer is instrumental in my life, or was, still is actually instrumental in my life. That is, he introduced me to MDPI's editorial board member. So since then, I have been growing from strength to strength, considering that I'm dyslexic, you know, and I overcome my dyslexic because my wife reads all my scripts, everything that I send out. If you ever received an email from me with mistakes in it, you can bet your bottom dollar that I wrote it. Anyway, thank you, Kathy, thanks. This is a demonstration that we are educational community. That's why I talked about on this elaborate way of saying that we've done so much that actually we are editorial community, and you have a future with us. So please join us and stay with us. And next, I'd like to say something about Astrobiology Society, which is at the University of Manchester. Everyone should get their camera ready, phone camera, and take a photograph of this slide if you wish to. You can obtain more information on Google, social media, or on their link page. This is that link here, and of course they have more than 150 members. I'll tell you why that is important in a second. They have attained 15,000 hits a month on social media. Not bad, I must say, for an organization that was inaugurated in August 2020. And if you want more information, you can obtain it from their president. So Perez Grande. I'm sorry, I might make a mistake in your name, Mr. Perez Grande. I apologize. I should have apologized to you in advance, but I do it now in public. There's no shame in that. Okay, this is my international team. They're really, really good scientists and educators. I mean, come on. Dr. Martin, Dominic, and Professor Elias. You know, Martin is the president, Elias is the CEO. Martin is involved in making policy decisions, whereas Elias actually is involved in the day-to-day running of the NoRCEL, as well as the manning the new website. We have a new website, please know that. Okay, Oleg, I've known him for at least 6-7 years, and we have always communicated very well, and he forms a part of a valuable team in the sense that he is the deputy CEO, which I consider him to be clever in that job. And there is Professor Rowena Ball. She's from Australia. She's scientific officer, and she talks about actually hydrogen peroxide hypothesis. I'm so sorry to say that Rowena couldn't join us, and I cannot go deeper into it why she could not, although I've given the explanation. So again, I'd like to thank Professor Sakaji. He joined us about 6 weeks ago. He's really, really active both in theoretical physicist and editor-in-chief, and as well as now with this network. I'd like to thank you very much, Amar, for taking over the Zoom and helping us to go through it flawlessly. And then there is Professor Xavier Teres de Farias. He and I have collaborated, and I've known him since 2014. Collaborated, we wrote 3 papers together. He's a very clever man. Whenever asked, he gives his input willingly. Pauline, likewise, he and I have written a book chapter, and he's a network secretary. Then there is Professor Golden Nimboya. He just became a professor about a few months ago. You won't believe this, actually. He was doing his PhD. He was made professor straight from after completion of his PhD. He was made professor, but he's very, very active in Zimbabwe in schools, as well as disseminating science in schools, because I have visited with him to school, do the same thing, and he's helping me to disseminate science in Zimbabwe. And he's very, very clever, and I'm glad to be and proud to be involved with him. And then we have Prosper Simpimba, and he's from Zambia. Yes, from Zambia, Copperbelt University. Again, I've known him since about 2013. He's been involved, he and I have been involved in extensive, I use the word wisely here, extensively in disseminating science, both in the universities, in the city of Lusaka and Kitwe, in universities and schools as well. And then I have these 3 really, really remarkable young people, Aya, Rabia, and Priscilla. You know, I've known Rabia and Aya at least for 3-4 years. You know, Aya is so super that she would not, she kind of, I tell her often that she kind of reminds of me in my young days, trying to get a PhD. She will stop at nothing. So she has got her head down, and she has attained, with my help, of course. I don't want to boast about it, but I kind of sport it up, please. Please bear with me. I am trying to use, I am using words wisely. And Aya actually has managed to attain a place, a university in Florida, US. But the name escapes me, her. And so she's really, really super. She took her TOEFL exam just the other day. Let's cross fingers that she actually passed that. And then Rabia is a super woman of Pakistan, actually. And again, I take my hat off to her. She's so good. And I mean, she's the type of educator, and she's helping this network to grow. Thank you very much, Rabia, for that. And Priscilla is the latest recruit, and she's from Uganda. And you know something? Priscilla is still studying her PhD, and whenever asked, Priscilla always give a thoughtful input into the network. I'm proud to be involved with all of these people here that I mentioned, and of course, then there is the delectable Kathy McGrath, network administrator, and then this guy called Dr. Sohan Jheeta, editor-in-chief. I don't know who he is. Perhaps you guys will know who he is, and please let me know when you do meet up with him. Who is he anyway? Anyway, so here you are. Thank you very much. So let's start with the first presentation. I'm